Hey guys, what's up? It's Taylor, your online youth lead. We're bringing you something different today. It's called the For Real Show. And it's a show we're going to be doing on YouTube for the rest of this year. And it's going to be conversations with people you may know, you may not know. It's going to be awesome. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. Today's episode, we're talking about purpose. Check it out. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Taylor and I'm the online youth lead. And I just have some cool peeps. We're doing something new today. If you guys want to just go ahead, introduce yourself, let them know what you do at Sandals Church, and maybe like what's your favorite pizza topping. That could get us into some controversial stuff potentially. So
it could actually. Yeah. My name is Justin Knowles and I'm the director of kids and youth here at Sandals. So I get to work with all the youth people and kids people across all of our campuses. And the pizza, well, can I just tell you my favorite pizza?
Yeah.
Like my favorite toppings?
Yeah, favorite
if I were
pizza.
to order it myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pepperoni, pineapple, and jalapeno pizza.
Oh, that's so good.
And so that's like my go-to. It's
All right.
delicious. You
Heck
get the
yeah.
sweet, you get the spicy.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, because we're both on Team Pineapple.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's what you thought the controversy would be, but there's no controversy here, dude,
No.
because pineapple's
We're
amazing.
friends.
I
Yeah.
stirred it up because I'm not Team Pineapple.
You're not Team Pineapple?
No.
Yikes. Well, hi guys, I'm Dane. I'm the youth lead at our Palm Avenue campus in Central Riverside. And yeah, man, a good solid pepperoni pineapple with jalapeno actually sounds amazing. That's probably what I'm going to eat today.
Dang, dude.
It's good.
It sounds
It's
so good
You're
right
welcome.
now.
You're welcome.
That was a good idea, but I'm not a pineapple guy, not a pineapple on pizza type of guy. Today we're going to talk about lots of things. We're going to have some conversation. We're going to chill.
It's a new show.
It's a new show. It's the For Real Show.
The For Real Show.
Is there an intro too?
There-
For real.
There is an intro. I think I'm going to make something pretty sick.
That's tight.
It'll be like, for real.
Nice.
But for now, I just wanted to talk. We were chatting a little bit while we were waiting for this show to set up. But I want to hear your go-to fast food joint. Not restaurant, but your go-to fast food joint. We were having some very high-level leadership, intellectual conversation about fast food earlier.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
just
of
tell me a little bit. Justin, what's your favorite fast food
It's.
joint?
I mean.
Go-to.
I mean, come on. It's. So we're based in Southern California. If you're listening out of the state or whatever,
Yeah.
like you don't understand. Okay, but it's In-N-Out.
People miss out on it.
In-N-Out is like supreme. I could eat In-N-Out every day and it will not get boring and it will still taste delicious. Never had a bad experience. It's always good.
Service is great too.
And service is great.
Yep.
Number
Yep.
2 with grilled onions, animal style fries, and a root beer.
That's a banger.
That's where it's at.
Some would say
That's
it's
what for me.
Justin's killing it with
All
the food answers
all
right
y'all
now.
like Whataburgers or whatever, like Five Guys.
Yeah,
No.
Hardee's. Yeah.
No.
Yikes.
I'm pretty hungry right now, so you guys are
Why
just
isn't this a
tempting me.
food situation?
We
They
should
could've
be
just made this a
eating like
food
just
thing.
some
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out.
Yeah.
Animal style fries right in front of us. Next time.
Yeah,
All right.
that's good. That's a good answer. Go to probably Wendy's. I don't think Wendy's gets a big enough shout out.
Wendy's is
Spicy nugs are amazing.
Their French fries are good.
French fries are tight. There's just good options there, man. I don't
Honestly.
mind the square burgers.
The Frosty?
Frosty is good.
Frosty's
But if I'm
crazy.
having like a bad day or if I want like a little reward for myself, I'll go to a Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
And yeah, get like a nice chalupa crunch wrap,
Crunch
cheesy
wrap's good.
gordita crunch,
yeah, for those that don't
Baja
know,
Blast.
Dane's a Taco Bell fan, but Justin's anti-Taco Bell.
I'm not anti. I just like Del Taco better. Not anti. I'll get Taco Bell sometimes. Just a
Yeah.
Crunchwrap Supreme.
There's
He's
a
just
video
saying that
on
'cause he's on
YouTube
camera.
that shows my first Del Taco experience. It was pretty bad, but I was told I ordered the worst thing on the menu. So
This guy gets a fried chicken burrito and
With
is
fries
upset
in
that
it.
it doesn't taste good. It's like, yeah, of course, man.
it had fries in it. It looked good. The menu made it look good. It was bad though. It was
Nah,
really
dude.
bad. I mean, fast food for me, I'm gonna say Chick-fil-A. I know that's cliche. It's super cliche,
Yeah.
but
The Holy Chicken.
it is holy chicken,
It's pre-blessed.
pre-blessed.
Yep.
They
I
pay
think
the
for
meal.
me, it's the sauce. Like condiments really matter to me. Like a top level condiment. If you got a special sauce,
Yeah, Chick-fil-A. I bought the Chick-fil-A sauce from the grocery store.
Yeah.
and
They
I
just
just
have
have
it
it in
now.
my house.
you can do
Yeah.
it, and it changes like your cooking game for
100%.
sure. Anything. You can eat anything and dip it in Chick-fil-A sauce, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Vegetables even. Have you tried it? Vegetables dipped in Chick-fil-A sauce?
I don't eat vegetables. What are those?
I'm worried about you, Justin. I'm genuinely worried about this man. That's crazy. Nah, I think just to shift things from fast food into whatever, my first question for you guys is just like, when you hear the word purpose, it's a big word, right? When you hear that word, what are some initial thoughts? Like, nothing long, but like what's like a sentence that comes to mind, like when you hear purpose? Because for me, I'll go.
Okay,
When I hear purpose, I think of the pastor preaching from the platform, because I grew up in church, and saying, what has God called you to, or what is your purpose? Because my whole life I heard like that similar like stigma or whatever, that like purpose and calling were the same thing. And that's my initial thought. Might get a little crazy from there, but that's my initial thought. Purpose, calling. What's it mean to you?
I mean, it first came to my mind, it was like Justin Bieber's Purpose Tour.
Nice.
Like that's what
banger album. I said banger twice now.
Yeah, but that's a great album. First of all,
I haven't personally heard it, but I hear great things.
I do enjoy. I'm a believer. That's fine. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm a 35-year-old believer, and I'm okay with who I am now.
That's good, man. Yeah, get for real, dude.
Okay.
This is a for real show.
It's a for real show.
For real show.
And so I think, so along with you, like when I first like purpose, I think I used to mistake my plan for purpose, and I think people mix up those two. I think there's a plan to carry out your purpose. But I used to think that like my plan, whatever my plan was like my purpose in reality. And I think we could probably dive into it a little bit, but I think it's way bigger than whatever I think my plan is.
For sure.
Right. And so that's what I think at first. I used to think that was like, oh, it's my plan of like what I'm supposed to do with my life.
Yeah.
But then when you remove yourself kind of like the 10,000 foot level, like, oh no, that's just my version of what I think I'm supposed to do with everything. That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good, because it's like sometimes we make things that are way bigger into something really small, and then also maybe not even about us. And I think that's an interesting take for sure. I think that is a really good perspective shift, because I definitely don't think that way for sure.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Wow. Do I even need to answer?
You don't have to add if you don't want to.
I can add things. Yeah, two things come to mind with purpose. One, such a bad joke. Never mind.
Say it. We need to say it.
I was going to say dolphins because it sounds like porpoise, and that's a dolphin. This is such a bad joke.
Purpose, porpoise.
Yeah, same thing.
Why did the dolphin feel lost? Because it had no porpoise?
Is that a real joke?
I think so. It's
The
like a dad joke.
the mind of Dane.
I actually love popsicle stick jokes. That's like my favorite thing. Purpose. I would just say like, for me, it's always just want to feel like, oh, my life matters. I made an impact while I was here. That there was like a reason for me being around. And just like, what is like the impact or, legacy? What are people going to say about me when I'm gone, kind of thing? And like, man, what is my reason for doing the things I'm doing and pursuing the things I'm pursuing? It's like, that's your purpose.
Yeah.
That's just what comes to mind. Yeah.
Dude, see? You needed to say something there.
I'm glad you said something.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad. Thanks for participating.
My purpose is being here.
Porpoise. Let's go. No, I just think it's incredible. Like, I think like from a really young age, it was one of those things where purpose like mattered kind of, but it mattered more and more like as I got older and older. Like to me, it was like always like a thought, right? Because you're specifically like when I was a senior, I started thinking purpose. Like what is my purpose? Because you're like, where do I go to school? What am I choosing for a path or career?
Yeah. Did that ever stress you out though? Like in high school? It's like, how am I supposed to pick a career for the next 30 years? What if I hate it? Yeah, I'm just supposed to pick this thing that you want me to do for the rest of my life. What if it sucks? Yeah.
I was definitely, and this is the other thing, right? Because everyone around you is declaring, I'm going to school for this.
They seem so sure about it.
They're like, this is who I'm going to be. And you're like, this guy who like you never talk to, he's like, yeah, I'm going to be a doctor.
And he looks like a doctor too. It's like, you already know. It's like, yeah.
Or opposite, and you're just like, I wouldn't go to
He's not going to do anything.
Like, you sure?
Dude, and you're like, you're sitting there and you're like, this was like literally me. My parents were like, what colleges do you want to go visit? And I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And they were like, well, what do you want to do? What are you interested in? I was like, video games. I like video games.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, that can't be a career. Which now, shame on them, because I could have been a Twitch streamer.
Huge career.
Yeah. Well, and technically, that's kind of.
That's true. It is in the job description.
You are
now.
in like
the Twitch realm now.
Yeah.
It all came full circle for
Yeah.
sure. But like there's all these kids, they're declaring their majors. They're like, I'm gonna go to school. I have a plan. Like, it's like, dude, I was the exact opposite. I was like, no plan. I literally was visiting schools just to like appease my parents, but I would go to the school and be like, what does this even mean? Like,
Yeah,
what does
we're
this
just
mean
like
for
trying
me?
to like feel a good vibe
So
from the
like,
school.
I was just like, do I like this place?
Yeah.
Would I want to live here? And for me, it was like everyone was good at something, right? Did you ever feel like you had something that you were good at, that you were like really leaned into? Like, Justin, did you have like, I feel like Justin like was in speech class and he was like giving these speeches. And
Nah,
like,
dude. No, mine was opposite. I think, and again, I think I like. I'll tell you but I want to go to this other spot too, where my mind went.
Yeah.
But in high, like for me, it was my plan. I thought it was my purpose. My plan was to play. I was a baseball player.
Yeah, you're like super good.
And I was good. Right? I can say that now because I could barely throw it to the end of the room after like 2 surgeries on my shoulder. But like that was the thing. Like my identity was wrapped into my skill. And when that skill was taken away, I felt like I lost my purpose, my value, my my plan that I had for my life was like, once that was gone, I was like, I don't know who the heck I am.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea who I am.
It's gonna be terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was a senior, so like going into that next phase where I like thought I was like, oh shoot, this is who I was. Everybody knew me as like, oh, that's Justin, he plays baseball.
Yeah.
And that was everything was wrapped around it. But that's and I think that's kind of where. Well, I'll stop there because I'm sure I want to hear what Dane was good at or
Dane,
what
were you
his
similar to
skill
me?
was.
Did you have trouble like figuring it out?
Yeah, I had no idea what I was gonna do, and that's what like would stress me out too. Is like everybody's graduating and was like so sure. I went to community college after high school for 5 years. I took beginning, intermediate, and advanced ceramics. I didn't need to. My counselor's like, stop taking these classes. You don't need them anymore. I was like, but that's fun. I'm just kind of doing it. I don't know. Just because I didn't know what to do. But I was just like, yeah, I'm just going because I think I'm supposed to.
For sure.
But yeah, I had no idea. I would just kind of like go like all around, like, yeah, maybe this, maybe that, and just kind of hopefully land somewhere, you know?
Well, you're a good like skater.
Yeah.
Like, that was like, you're a good skateboarder.
Yeah, there's for sure like hobbies and passions like I've always had.
Yeah.
Like skateboarding, like art, photography, like making videos. Like I love that kind of stuff, but never felt like it was good enough to be at that level to like do anything with it, you know? It's just stuff I enjoyed. But I was like,
did you feel like those hobbies though could have ever turned into like purpose or like give you purpose in the midst of it?
yeah, for sure.
Or?
Like especially in high school, like skateboarding, I was like, I'm gonna get sponsored. I'm gonna go pro.
Dreams.
I'm gonna be I was like, be all these. I'm gonna tour the world, and that's like, like reality kind of hits, and you're like, oh, I'm actually not at that level. You know?
Sure.
And that's how it is with a lot of things, you know. But I don't think that like removed the joy I got out of doing those things, or like felt like, okay, no, this is something I'm still passionate about, just because I'm not making money off of it, you know. Which I don't think it really informed my purpose, like whether or not this is going to bring in income. But yeah, if it's life-giving to me, then I'm going to be pursuing it anyway, you know?
That's good. Before we dive deeper into Justin, I want to hear a little bit more about the plan and how it changed. But what changed for me, something that helped me get to a place of purpose, was in the midst of all of this, like, dude, what am I good at? Like for you, it was like baseball. Like baseball was the thing. But like I had nothing. It was like I knew maybe it was my brain, right? Like I knew a lot, was aware of a lot, had a bunch of random information. I'm like someone that just knows a lot about random stuff because I just remember things. And then that never translated into ever having like a skill or trade. I was the guy that took like 4 years of art classes because I didn't know nothing else really interested me, but I wasn't good enough at art to be like some master like art school person. And so Like, I remember as I was looking for colleges, my cousin, I was like, it was the summer between my senior year, and I was supposed to decide like where I'm going a long time ago, but I hadn't decided yet. And my cousin was working at admissions at a college and was like, hey, you should come visit my college, as an admissions person should do, right? And I was like, sure, I'll come visit. So I visited the school. It was in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and it had nothing to do with my giftings or like what I wanted to do, but for me, it was like the people. So all of a sudden, I met all these people, and I was like, I want to live here, and I want to be surrounded by these people. And that first year at that college, which I ended up filling out an application that day because I was like, only school I applied to. If I didn't get accepted, I was just going to accept my fate, not going to college.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And was like, applied, went to school there. And that year at that school, that first year, changed the trajectory of my life. Like, was the community shaped me. The friends I met helped lead me and point out things in me that I never saw in myself that helped lead me to where I am today. Like that first year at college there was foundational to shaping who I am today. And it's crazy to say that like I didn't go to school for I actually majored, it's a joke, right? I majored in communications and mass media, which is usually a joke major because it's usually for people to declare that major when they don't know what to do. And that was exactly what I declared. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but it gave me classes that oddly relate to what I do today. You take classes in marketing, you take classes on Photoshop and how to edit videos, and here we are today.
Look at you now, dude.
It's crazy.
Wow,
and it was a Christian
As an
school.
online youth lead.
As an online youth lead.
Makes graphics and edits videos and creates content.
Does all of those
Would you
things
look
now,
at that,
which is
dude.
insane. So
Live in your purpose.
I know, it's crazy, but I want to hear more about specifically, Justin, like when did the plan, because you had a plan probably from baseball, right?
Yep.
When did the plan change, and what was that process like? Because I'm sure it was really like painful to lose
for sure.
the game plan and then have to like shift everything in the midst of it.
Yeah, well, it's. I feel like maybe if you're listening, or you guys too, like you feel when something that you were skilled at, or you thought it was your purpose, but in reality it was your plan, and then that your identity was wrapped around that one thing, and then all of a sudden in one dive of a ball, that was gone. And so like I went from like literally being a baseball player to now I'm not, like within seconds. And it's like like when you don't really know, when you think your purpose is one thing and then it gets ripped away from you, you're like, what is happening right now? Like where am I? Who am I? What am I? Like, am I valuable? You know, like, because purpose, we usually tie like purpose with value. And so like I just kind of went to like this kind of like little depression spiral of like, and kind of asking some of the big questions that I feel probably a lot of people are asking, like, who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? And I think it came down to, and I had this realization, is that we tend to put our value of what our culture says into like temporary, shallow things, into things that could easily be taken out by a car accident. Like, and I think it, like, even in my head, it goes into like, there's typically like 4 categories that we put our people put value in. It's like position, it's attractiveness, like looks, it's wealth and skills. And most anything that people like say, hey, you have value, or you bring value to our culture and in our world today, it usually falls into one of those 4 things. And like I said, the sad thing is all 4 of those things could be wiped from you tomorrow. Like, you could be skillful in a sport, you cannot play anymore. You could be very attractive, and now you're not. You know, one day something happens. You could be wealthy, you could lose everything, and you could lose your position. And everything today could be gone tomorrow. And I feel like that's where people usually where we find people, where I think, like, you know, the church has an answer to that. For sure. To be honest with you, like, of looking at like, hey, what is my purpose and what is my value? Is we say that it's, well, actually, you're valuable to Jesus, right? Like, that's his main thing.
Yeah.
But our culture today, students today put a lot of their value into typically those 4 things that could easily be like swiped from you.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I was.
Yeah.
I was in that moment of like, what is like, I have no skills now. You know, I'm not going to be wealthy because I thought I was going to do this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm attractive doesn't fit in there, but then like I had this like position.
You're attractive.
Come
Come
on.
on.
But like in
Good
high
looks,
school back
guys.
in the day, you know, and I'm saying thank you.
Come
on. But more of like, you know, the position of like, oh man, I'm gonna go to like a D1 college baseball. And so
Yeah.
like, and then all 3, boom,
For
was
sure.
gone. So I think that's where people
No, that's true.
kind of fall into that.
Yeah, I think it's so hard too, because it's like it's very evident in today's culture that like those are the things that we put value to. And like I was thinking like, dang dude, I put value with that. Like,
For sure, yeah.
like I care about how I look and how I'm perceived by people. I care about financial future because I want to leave a legacy. I want to leave people better off than what I started, and like all these things that like we value. But you're right, like it can be ripped away like that. And I think it's cool because you said like the church has an answer for this, but it's like not everyone knows that, and it actually is the
Knows
number
that or
one-
agrees with it,
knows or agrees,
because that's
It's
like
true.
the thing, right? Like
It's contradictory because I think we live in an age where people, it's like do what makes you happy. Like I think genuinely like that's a general statement that people would say, like do what makes you happy and that will lead to purpose. And then you find all these people actually like I can't remember, there was actually a celebrity that just killed himself, I think like last week. I can't remember his name, but it's tragic because you have these people that we'd perceive as like living in purpose and living within what our culture values the most, and they're still unhappy.
Yeah.
But yet our culture says do what makes you happy. So are these people like what's like that missing, like what's the missing piece that we're like not understanding? Because we actually live probably in a world today where more people are not happy with where they're at and want more or want something different or their plans have changed and they can't break free from that like mold of like this is what I had and it's gone now, and then they just like dive bomb and spiral. And I've been there definitely. Like there's been moments where like redefining, like I thought I wanted to be a quote unquote like traditional youth pastor, right? And did it for a while and then realized like this isn't what I want to do at all. But something similar, but not necessarily like this, what I was doing. And we tied it all, and very much tied my like identity into like title, tied it into what I was doing at the work that I was doing, and lost sight of it, and then spiraled into this place of like, what is my purpose? So what do you think can break people out? Like, let's talk about the answer, because we know we're beating around the bush. We know it's Jesus, but like, I think like, how do we help someone understand that doesn't agree that like they say, do what makes you happy and that's enough, but they don't understand that there's one like key element that's missing from that picture. I think like, how do we introduce or rationalize that? That's a question that I'm just asking. I don't even have the answer to it, because I think ultimately I'm just thinking about like, I want someone to encounter God. I want them to know that Jesus gives them purpose, and we can say that, but how do they move from a place of do what makes you happy to Jesus is my purpose and does define who I am? My identity comes from Jesus. And I think that took me a long time, and I'm still figuring it out ultimately, but I think I'm in a better place now. Of what it took was devaluing everything else and valuing Jesus more. Would you agree or disagree with like valuing Jesus at the highest and devaluing all of the other things that culture says to value? Or
I talked last time, Dane. I'm gonna throw that to
Dane.
You want me to answer that?
Yeah,
Well,
come
I mean,
on. Hop into the deep end,
I have
bro.
a thought too, but I want you to talk too.
Yeah, hop into the deep end, man.
Right. Yeah. I think it's. I think if like anybody was like self-aware and honest with themselves, like you could kind of like we can kind of figure out like that's not going to be enough. Like what Justin was talking about, man. Like there's always going to be someone more powerful, more like better looking, wealthier, more skilled than you are. And I think like kind of deep down, like yeah, there's celebrities who have everything and then are like depressed and they're struggling. And you're like, well, if that wasn't enough, then what is?
Yeah.
Is it ever going to be enough? You know?
Come on,
And like there might be that secret kind of hope. Well, maybe my life will be different. You know? Because there's people who just say like stupid stuff like money can't buy happiness. I'm like, well, I want to try.
I'll definitely like to try.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
try
win the
right now.
lottery. I'll
Yeah.
be that guy
Yeah.
to find happiness with it.
I mean, a new car doesn't make me mad.
Yeah, I'm not upset
A
about
Tesla, you know?
it. Unlimited
Out
Taco
there, if you
Bell.
want to buy me a
I'll
Tesla,
take it.
I'll take it.
So there's like that kind of like, you know, human part of us, you know, those like desires that we have. But I think the beautiful thing about it that Justin hit on, man, is like the beautiful thing about God is that you don't have to have any of that for you to matter to him or you to be loved by him.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we find love and acceptance and our purpose, right? Is through these things. We want to prove it to people. Like, oh yeah, I matter because look at all these things I'm doing. Oh, look how good I look. Look how much I can do for you. And God gives you that freedom to actually, you don't have to do any of that for him, like for you to matter in this life, which I think is
freeing.
like, it's so freeing because it's like, oh man, I don't actually have to like worry and stress about this because man, I'm already fully accepted. Right. I have my purpose aside from these things, you know, so everything else just becomes like a beautiful pursuit in life with God in mind. Cause it's like, all right, yeah, nothing can take me from that. You know, nothing can take that away from me. So then, yeah, I'm free to just live how God wants me to live.